make a orange patchouli hot process, and we're going to make a sweet orange and berry cold process. So I've already mixed my oils and I've already mixed my lye. I will go ahead and I will leave a recipe for you in the description box. But let's go ahead and get started. Very carefully pour my oils. Okay, more careful than that. Pour my lye into my oil. Give it a brief stir with the old spoon here. If you hear any excess noise in the background, I live in an apartment complex and they are working on the next door neighbor's empty house. Well, apartment. Alright, let's take my best friend here. And before I get started with that, right here what I have is Kaolin Clay, and I also have Collodial oatmeal. So, and all I did was like 3 tablespoons of Kaolin Clay, and then I did like 2 tablespoons of Collodial oatmeal. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. The clay helps to give it slip, and the Collodial oatmeal just acts as a very mild exfoliant. And it's also great for the skin. Alright, let's get zapping. What we're working on now is combining the oils with the lye, because we want to go ahead and reach a trace. When I'm doing hot process, I like to reach a very thick trace, because to me it just helps it to cook faster. But I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just my personal preference. Okay, and I'm not going to bore you with having to sit here and listen to me stick blend. So what I will do is, well, it's already starting to thicken up just a little bit. Goodness, that's awesome. But what I will do is, once I've reached my full trace, then I'll go ahead and I will be right back with you. I have finally reached my trace. It's about the consistency of a watery pudding. It clings to my spoon. When I go like this, very little wisps stay on the top, which is what I want. And so now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead and put the lid on it, and we will allow it to cook. Now at this time you don't want to add any fragrances or anything like that, because the heat from the crock pot is simply going to cook the fragrance out. So now, and that took almost, did I say that? Did I already say it took almost 10 minutes? Well, I'm going to say it again. It took almost 10 minutes. That was a long time. So now we're going to let it sit and cook. It's not as thick as I like it. I usually like it like a thick pudding. But I figure since we're getting ready to do another batch, save on my stick blender a little bit, and we'll just do it to like a watery pudding. And now let's get ready to move over to our cold process. So what we're making today, over here on this side of the world, let's get that out of there, is a berry and sweet orange cold process soap. And again, I will leave the recipe in the description below, as well as somewhat informal instructions. If you want detailed instructions in regards to how to measure it out, and the type of scale that you need to use, and safety precautions and things, go ahead to my first video, Pearl's Pine Tar Acne Soap, Pine Tar Beer Acne Soap. and that's got a little more of a detailed description. But okay, so I went ahead and mixed up my lye and my water. I'm letting that cool down now. I have my other oils here. Oh goodness. In this crock pot. And my oils that I used in both the other crock pot and this crock pot. And yes, this is going to be cold processed. However, my lye water would have caused my oils to pour up out of the bowl I was originally using. So we're using this for a mixer for now. But my oils are soybean oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, safflower oil, shortening, and then of course the lye and the water. And the reason I chose these particular blends is not for anything in particular. I am showing you that you can make soap with any kind of leftover oils that you have, and this is just what I happen to have on hand. So I'm going to slide these out the way. What I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to do my Kaolin Clay, and I'm going to do my Collodial oatmeal, and go ahead and pour it in here. I've had a lot of people tell me that they prefer the soaps with the clays versus the soaps that don't have the clays. And I'm adding it to my oils. I'm just going to kind of zap it a little bit to mix it in. Check the water. Alright, I think that's probably good right there. Pop that back in there. That little mess we got going on. I'm going to divide it up into two bowls. I'm going to divide it into this bowl and into this bowl. And what I'm going to do is I have my berry scent in this one. And it's actually called Halle Berry. And I got that scent from the lady outside. That is literally what she is called. If you get a chance to check her out online, she has spectacular oils. She does not cut her oils. And I'm going to throw a plug in there for her. It's www.ladyoutside.com. Her prices are reasonable and her oils are wonderful. Mainly her fragrance oils. That and VA Candle Supply are the only two type of oils that I use in my soaps. And they come out great, don't they? Friend in the background. Love them. Alright, so in this one I've got avocado oil, I've got olive oil, and I've got castor oil and vitamin E. And then I put 2 tablespoons of a probiotic green. And that's literally what it's called, probiotic greens, in the powdered form. And then I also have Kaolin Clay and some Collodial oatmeal in this one as well. So we're going to kind of, I guess, double up. And then in this one here, I've got castor oil, olive oil, I've got my sweet orange, and then I also have a tablespoon of raw honey. And what the honey does is just gives you bubblicious bubbles and honey in the raw, spooktacular for your skin. Alright, so let me walk over here and grab my lye and let's see if we can get this party bumping. Lye, pulled it out of the refrigerator. It's still kind of warm, but it's not hot like it was. And I'm going to go ahead. Whoo, look who can't talk, me. I'm going to go ahead and add it to my oils now. Slowly. Trying to be careful. If you're wondering what those things are that's inside the lye water, I just used the same spoon that I was stirring my oils that had the clay in it and just stuck it in the lye water, so I'm just putting it back. Alright. Now, a lot of soapers say that you have to soap within 10 degrees of your oils. I'm going to tell you honestly, I never have. And I've only had one batch of soap that came out bad. Usually is I cool my lye when I'm making cold process. I cool my lye down just a little bit, and my oils are usually room temperature. And then I just combine the two together, and I haven't had a problem. Sometimes people make soap making so unbelievably impassable or so hard that people don't want to try it because they think they can't do it. You can. If I can, trust me, you can. Alright, this is a recipe that I did make up, like I said, with leftover oils that I had. I will leave a link in the description to the Brambleberry Lye Calculator so that you can go ahead and give it a try yourself. But for now, let's go ahead and let's get our oil and our waters mixed together and get this to a light trace, and then we'll go ahead and add our yummies. This is my favorite part when I'm mixing up the oil and the water, is watching the lye come up and start grabbing the oils. Now I want to know, maybe you can't see, I'm hoping that you can. If you can see inside the pot here, we've got little swirls on top here, the oil swirls. As you're mixing and you stop and you look, if you see those little oil swirls, your soap and your lye is not yet combined. So keep mixing. What you're going to want is something uniform in color. It's crazy how the clay turned it brown. I just hope my color takes. Alright, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes after I've reached trace. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide it up between my two white bowls right here so that I can add my additives. And we're going to hope that we do not create soap on the stick. So, here goes nothing. Pour this bowl. Give some to this bowl. Kind of want more in this one than I do in this one, because this one is my greens. And what I'm doing is I'm really testing out colors. That's why I'm making it like this, because I'm going to be making a cucumber melon soap, and I just want to test out my colors and see how they do with the Kaolin Clay added. So we're just going to do a fun little berry and sweet orange scent. Oh goodness, that bad boy's heavy. Alright. Here's the hoping for no soap on a stick. Alright, so see, I might do the plop and drop method depending on how thick and how quickly thick this gets on me. Alright, so here I'm going to add my fragrance oil, my color, and maybe my honey. There we go. And my honey to this one. That didn't even take the color, you see that? I'm glad I did that before I did my cucumber melon. It looks like a orangish brownish type color. That's crazy. And I would say I'm going to add more, but I don't have any more orange coloring, so you have to excuse the music in the background. Give me 1 second. When I'm soaping, I like to listen to relaxing music. Alright, so I'm going to add my greeny weenies over here. I'm so disappointed that that red did not take. I guess with the clay being brown, I should have known it wasn't going to take. But live and learn, right? So that means I'm going to have to try to order a white clay so that I don't have this problem again in the future. Which is no big deal because me and eBay, we're great friends. Alright, let's give this a zip zap here. Not a very deep green, is it? Boy, I'm just striking out every which way on my colors for this one, aren't I? Oh well. It's alright. At least it smells good. Alright, now since this is my first time using my wooden mold here for cold process, because normally I use this strictly for hot process, I'm going to work on trying to get the batter nice and thick if I can. I wonder if I should go ahead and just combine the two instead of trying to have the separate scents. You know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and just combine the two since my orange decided that it was not going to come out for me because of the brown clay. So I'm going to go ahead and just combine the two together. I have my berry scent in one and my sweet orange in the other. And it'll be a nice fruity smell. I'm a little sad-faced about that though. But it's okay. I will do it again, only I will not add the Kaolin Clay. I'm so glad you guys are here to experience this with me. That's the first time I haven't had a color work out for me, like seriously. I'm a little sad right now. But what I am happy about is I have no acceleration with my fragrances that I use. Because the last thing we want happen is soap on a stick. And what soap on a stick is when your soap seizes, and that means it hardens up on you while it's in the bowl. Like I've seen a lot of people that'll add their fragrances and then they go to stick blend it or they go to stir it and it's already saponified or turned to soap in the bowl. And so then they have to try to sit there, almost like hot process, and mash it into the mold. But we're going to go ahead and get this thicker so we can pour it. A lot of people at this point would just go ahead and pour it into their molds. But again, this is my first time using this mold and I don't have a silicone liner for it. So I'm a little nervous about just pouring it in there. And my dogs are running back and forth upstairs. It sounds like thunder. That's pretty funny. I don't think that's going to work out well. But I'll do that. Set that for the topping. After I get this pulled, we'll head on over and we're pulled. Woo-wee. Y'all pray for me. For some reason, my vocabulary has taken a hike today. We'll get this poured and then we'll go check on our hot process and see how that's coming. Here, my dog's up there. Good, great. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in this mold for now. I'm going to go ahead and pour it on in there, however much will fit. And then that was a lot of leftovers. Go ahead and tap it down, get rid of the air bubbles. And then what I do from here is I take it out and put it right on out the way. See if I can do this without making a mess. Last time I did this, I spilled almost my whole thing of soap. I'm not going to keep it in there. I'm going to take it out. Alright. One. Alright, I still have all this leftover soap here. So I've got these little bar things. I just did some lotions in them. Some solid lotions, which I've had people asking me about those too.
Love them.
So I will go ahead and one of these days we'll do a tutorial. It's real simple and real easy and real quick. That was an overflow. I'll be cleaning that one up. I still got all this soap left. What in the world am I going to do? Okay. Let's see what else we can find for a mold. And I do get asked, do I gel my soaps? Sometimes. But most of the time, I just let them sit and do their thing. Hold on while I get creative. You can imagine how not happy I was with that as I poured some lotion and the lotion just came pouring right back out on the table. I wonder what this being so thick. That'd be kind of weird to have. Anyway, I'm all about experimenting. These ones will be for me anyway. So I'll go ahead and pour some soap right on top of the lotion bar and see if it comes out with it with the lotion, or I mean with the soap. I know, we're getting it on. And then I'll wash with it and tell y'all what happened. Well, it's a good thing I'm just keeping these here at home. I think we can officially call this a DIY fail. I am showing you what not to do. This is why I stick with hot process. Okay, move my mold back over here. Slide this up here. Let's go have a look at our hot process and see how we're coming. Ooh, that orange patchouli smells so unbelievable. Alright, we're slowly cooking it. Come on over here, camera person. I want you guys to take a look right here around the edges where it's bubbling up. Our soap is cooking. This right here is starting to harden up where it's turning into our saponified soap. It's not quite hardened yet, but it will definitely get there shortly. Now, if I move some of this out of the way, you see how it kind of resembles almost like oatmeal. What we want is like a lightweight running mashed potato stage. That's what we're working into now. So we'll go ahead and put our lid back on it, and we'll come back at this in about 15 minutes. See you then. That these sides and through here are really thick with some mashed potatoes, and that if I were to move this out of the way, you see how it's come up even more. We are almost ready to give this a stir. A lot of people would go ahead and stir it now. I am going to wait to stir it, because the more you play with hot process, the lumpier it is to put it inside of your mold. So once this is completely finished, I will come back and show you what our next step is going to be. But this is definitely getting there. I don't know if you can see how it has a little gloss to it, maybe. It's like a, I don't know, what would you call that? Like a melted mashed potato Vaseline. I don't know. Alright, I'll bring you back when we got another change going on. Gelled over, not gelled over, but cooked, done, whatever you want to call it. If you notice here on the sides, we are creating soap right here around the edges. Dried up soap. I believe, let's see, this is a little different than, oh, that's hot, than my normal hot process, and I believe it has everything to do with the Kaolin Clay. This is a little different than what my batches normally turn out to be, or it could be the choice in oils that I used as well. But anyway, so this is finished. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and shut the crock pot off, and I will leave the lid kind of cropped like that. And not cropped, but propped like that. And what we'll be able to do then is to allow the soap to cool down, so that we can go ahead and add our super fats, our honey, and our fragrance oil, which is all mixed into here. And this is my orange patchouli. Here, you want to smell? Smell. Doesn't that smell great? Alright, so we'll let this cool down for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll bring you back when we throw all the rest of our goodies in it. See you then. Stirred them down to the bottom, and now we'll go ahead and take our oil and our honey, and we'll add it. This is our super fat oils. Oh, that orange patchouli smells so good. Can you smell it? Oh my gosh. That is like heaven. Oh my gosh, I want to eat my soap now. Doesn't that smell good? Oh my gosh. Alright, oh, I forgot to tell you I have some shea butter mixed in there too. And so I went ahead and just got to make sure that all melted in real good. Alright, and then what we'll do is after we get it all... Ooh, your arm get tired mixing up this mess.
Smells good.
I know, right? Here, y'all want to smell? Come on, come in closer. Go closer.
You got to fan the camera, fan the camera, fan the camera.
Come on, alright.
Smell it, Vision.
Can you smell it? Oh my gosh. Alright. We call that a nose orgasm. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Hey, if you got kids in the room, you need to remove them. Okay, so now we've got that all mixed in there. It smells scrumptious. Now I want to eat my soap. We're going to go ahead and throw it in the mold here. Look at how dark that clay made though. made this soap. Folks, I have no idea if this is going to lighten it. This is really my first time using Kaolin Clay in the soap. I think I will be researching a lighter clay, and if you more experienced soapers out there have used a different kind of clay that holds color better, or that'll allow me to continue to have a white bar, please put it in the comments below. Look, you see this? I need to change my name to the Mess of a Soaper, because there's already a lady out there, she calls herself the Messy Soaper. If you have a chance to look her up. I can't remember what her YouTube channel is called, but she is absolutely hilarious and she's a lot of fun to watch. And she makes some pretty great soaps. Alright, we almost got it all in there. See, and I love the rustic look to the tops of my soaps. A lot of soapers, they clean their soaps. Well, they call it cleaning their soaps, where they take off the edges and things and they have them look kind of like they're, oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. Like they're professional soaps from the grocery store. And I figured if I wanted grocery store looking soaps, then I would just go buy some at the grocery store. After all, these are homemade. I feel like they should look homemade. So I don't clean my, oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. I don't clean my soaps. And I like to leave the rustic top. Pat it down just a little bit. Now see, sometimes at this point I would then take and I would separate my soaps and I would go ahead and make a topper for it so that I could pipe it. But with this soap I'm not going to, because my boys don't care if it's fanciful or not. They just care that it smells good and it washes good.
Neither does the camera lady.
Oh, yep, and my sister there in the background, she doesn't care what it looks like so long as it smells good. I have a feeling one of these bars will be ending up at her house. Excuse the noise. Alright, there we go. And all I did there was just knock out the excess air bubbles. So, now you've seen, ta-da, my homemade orange patchouli hot process soap. And again, I'll leave a link for the recipe down in the description box. And also, you've seen, ta-da! My cold process didn't quite work out because my soap was too brown, berry, sweet orange, cold process soap.
Camouflage.
Oh yeah, it kind of does look like camouflage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of almost like the soap that I made, the hemp soap that I made. Now that was some camouflage soap. That was cool soap. So, anyway, bring it back to me. My name is Pearl, and I'm with, again, Hope for Eli. I hope you like it. And, oh, this is my t-shirt. My son, he is 13 years old. His name is Eli. He just recently passed on Valentine's Day. If you look at the back of my shirt, Forever Eli Strong. A lot of people ask me, what does that mean? And I tell them that my son was the bravest child I've ever met in my life. But this is Pearl with Hope for Eli. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you throw a comment, and make sure you hit the share. Thanks. See you next time.